Yeah, yep. So I practice exclusively knee, chest, upper cervical specific chiropractic care. I learned that through the Art of the Specific teaching programs as a student coming up, which is now I have the opportunity to go back and teach at, which is one of my greatest rewards, is being able to come in and teach in the same way that I was taught and be a student as a teacher at the same time. You know, BJ always talked about you should always be a student. And so it's cool for me to be able to be a student while being a teacher, ultimately just a conversation starter for people along their journey. But as I was, I just entered chiropractic school with the mindset that I wanted to be great. I wanted to be the best at what I do in my town. I wanted to be the person that anybody in my town that's sick and suffering, it's been everywhere and tried everything and nothing's worked. I wanted to be the go-to. I wanted to be the person in my town that people say, this is who you go to when you can't figure out what's going on, right? And, because early on in chiropractic, that's how chiropractic was founded, right? Is it was people who were searching through medicine, not getting results, and they ended up in a chiropractic office. So as I started reading more and more about BJ and how he was evolutionizing the profession early on, I noticed that he started off with more of an upper cervical emphasis, and then he moved and progressed to a full spine kind of model with majors and minors, and then came full circle in Our Masterpiece, his last green book, where he talks about how he kind of came back to the upper cervical area. So as I was exploring through that and kind of deductive reasoning kind of through his thought process on that, I just thought, a lot of the miracle stories I see and hear and a lot of the science that validates what we do is coming from the upper cervical spine. And a lot of what I do in my office, utilizing computerized infrared thermography, utilizing a biomechanical motion x-ray, adjusting when necessary and knowing when people are clear and leaving them. Those are the types of things that really resonate with me, but more importantly, blended the philosophy, science, and art of what it is that we do that made sense for me from an objective perspective. And I just think with students that are watching this, if you can find that technique, whatever it is for you, that really you feel like blends the philosophy, the science, and the art, more importantly, makes you feel like when a patient leaves your door, that they're better than when they came, and you're commanding a fee for that you feel good about. And that's what I feel like doesn't lead to burnout, doesn't lead to the chiropractic student that graduates lost, doesn't know where their trajectory is taking them, doesn't know what particular technique they want to practice and what type of setting, which then ultimately dictates what type of ideal client you want to attract and who you want to see, what you want to charge them for that. I just think that the most important thing early on a student can do is really find a technique that resonates with them. Explore all techniques because you have to explore them all in order to figure out which one resonates with you, right? But I think, the more familiar you are with the different types of analysis, I just can't put a premium anymore on the analysis of what you do as a chiropractor. In my opinion, is the most important thing you could do. How do I know my patient needs this? How do I know that they're improving? And how do I know when they no longer need the adjustment and that they're clear, which dictates how often you need to be seeing them? I just think sometimes we get caught in a rut of people coming in the same exact frequency all the time, not based on any objective indicators. And that can be really, really frustrating as a chiropractor that's practicing full time, which I think, in my opinion, ultimately leads to them being frustrated, burnt out, and ultimately, sadly enough, leaving the profession a lot of times.